Let's move on to Parenthood. Parenthood is going into its fifth season, and this show is one of those shows that can really grab at the heartstrings. There have been times when I'm highly annoyed with many of the characters on the show. I think my biggest problem is that they just love to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and then they all talk over each other, and it's almost like how confusing can we make this scene so it looks like there's so much commotion going on. And I get it, because when you come from a big family and you're in a room with them, there's usually three conversations going on at once, and not everyone can hear each other, and not everybody wants to hear each other. So I get that they're always trying to create that commotion feel of this on the show. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. But one of the things that I really do love about the show is the dynamics that they have with all the different families. I think they do a really great job of capturing what it's like to be in a home where you've just adopted a son who's not a little baby, who's old enough to talk and read. Well, in this case can't read that well, but I mean, I think that what they did this season was they showed that all the different dynamics of having a family. And we have an interracial couple on the show. We have a family who's got like a son with Asperger's, and then we have this other family who have adopted a son. Not only is he older, but he's also of a different ethnicity. And I thought last season they handled it very well, showing the frustrations and how difficult it is to adopt somebody who is older and can speak for themselves and doesn't necessarily see it as a great thing to be adopted into this white family or whatever. And I thought that they handled it very well. And last season we also dealt with cancer and how that impacts the family, and I think that they did a really wonderful job with it. There's so many different storylines, there's so many different characters, but I think at the end of the day, the series really handles family well. Right now, one of the storylines that's going on is one of the daughters is going to get married, and she's going to get married to a soldier, and he's not very close with his family. So it's interesting to show that dynamic. Not everybody comes from a family that's so big and so warm and so loving and sits down and talks all the time, or they get together for family occasions all the time. And there's many different dynamics out there, and it's good that they're trying to show all different sides of it. Jasmine and is it her husband, they just had a new baby, and the baby won't stop crying, and so it's great to show like that aspect of them trying to handle that. And they have an older son, and him trying to still feel like he's part of being able to spend time with his dad and not having it be all about the baby. And so again, this show, to me, it's not necessarily like what's the end game in this series, like where are we going by the end of the season. It's sort of like what are the moments that that are compelling and that really grab at you. And there's so many different things happening that it doesn't need like a big huge end game piece move at the end. It just is showing family and how it transitions through the year, and all the things that come in and happen to your family and how you deal with that. And I think that they're off to a great start. I think that the show has grown. I think that they bring on such great guest stars, and I'm always interested to see where they're going to take it. So far for me this season, Parenthood is off to a good start. I believe we're 4 episodes in, and I'm interested to see where it goes from here. And I don't think that they're going to cheapen the show. Well, I mean, when I say cheapen, I mean obviously we know that there's going to be some, I guess, outside influences affecting one of the families this season, and we'll see what they do. There's always that temptation. No matter what you think, like when you are married and you're in a happy relationship, it doesn't mean that there's outside forces that can't infiltrate. You go to work and you spend 8 hours a day with other people, and sometimes those people get in a little bit, and you might start thinking about them when you least expect it. And I think it's important to just have those discussions, because it happens, and I think that we're about to head into a storyline like that on Parenthood, and it'll be interesting to see how they deal with it. And that's it. That's all I've got really on so far on Parenthood, and hopefully next week I'll get a little bit more in depth into each episode as they come about.